behind a computer, which is what most park rangers do, right?
No.
Everybody thinks we're outside with chainsaws all the time, but no. Unfortunately, a lot of what we do now is we manage actually 5 different parks that are 40 miles away from each other. We have 9 staff that do all that, plus seasonal staff. We also have a volunteer corps, our Friends group. That Friends group is who you're donating to, and thankfully for us, they contribute back to the park. So we're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But first, we're going to go into the history of the park, as well as what we do there, and why we wear these funny clothes and what these funny clothes mean. And then we're also going to do a little project that you guys are going to get to do some arts and crafts, but there's a reason behind it. And then Rob's going to explain, and Rob is one of our park rangers there. He's a park ranger. Rob and I started out in the fort together as historical interpreters, and our plot was to take over the park, which we have done, and the operations of it. So that's come to fruition, and luckily we're able to kind of represent the Friends here today. Our Friends group are volunteers, and they support us through many activities, and we'll talk later on about some of the things that they provided to the park. And you're going to be like, that's kind of interesting what they've been able to provide, because it's a wide variety of things. So the money that you donate to them could be going to lots of different projects. But Fort Frederick, this big pile of rocks, it is the only one on the planet. It is the only stone fort built by a colony during the French and Indian War. And in 1922, Maryland bought it back, because it had sold it previously, and began one of Maryland's first state parks. That's one of our other challenges. We're a state park. We have camping. We have a picnic area. We have lots of other things that we're responsible for. Rob even manages our gift shop. And he does sell some of your stuff in there, by the way. Not that Bill had anything to do with it, but we do have some of those things in there for our visitors. It's what's called a 4-bastion fort. The bastions are these corners here, and about 70% of that wall was original. We have 2 big buildings inside that were barracks, and they were built for the bicentennial in the 1970s, and there's a 3rd building that was never reconstructed called the Governor's House. And we use these buildings to teach history. That is our main job, is to share the French and Indian War time period, in our case from 1756 up to 1758, with our visitors. We also share the American Revolution. It was a prisoner of war camp for British soldiers captured at Saratoga, Yorktown, Stony Point, and my favorite prisoners were a group of sea robbers or pirates or privateers from a ship called the Jack-o'-lantern, which was out of New York, and they were rampaging on the Chesapeake Bay. And when they were captured, they were sent out there, and they were warned, the gentleman in charge of the fort, that they were pretty tough characters. But while it was a prison, there were also women and children there. Our exhibit in the visitor center, we just